Hello friends. Now I've had a couple of you reach out to me recently about the subject of self-doubt, how some of you are doubting yourselves, how you're thinking that you'll never be as good as the other pilots that are out there, or you're doubting your abilities to fly, or worse still, sometimes you're waking up scared to go out and fly. But let me let you into a secret, you're not alone. And I felt every single one of those things as a pilot in my flying career as well. But let me explain to you now how I approach those sorts of feelings nowadays. If you're new to the channel, hi, welcome. My name's Steph. I like to fly for fun and I do a lot of travel and post videos here on YouTube. And I think I've got a fair amount of experience in terms of challenging myself personally and overcoming that voice in your head that just gives you those self-doubts that can sometimes stop you from doing the things that you love. Now, self-doubt exists in every walk of life, and I'm not talking about self-esteem here. I'm not talking about how you feel about yourself as a person. I'm talking about that little voice in our head sometimes that keeps reminding us that we're not as good as we think we are, and everyone else is doing things way better than we ever could. Or to put it another way, do you ever feel that someone else deserves to be in a position that you're in, and you've kind of bluffed your way to get to that point? Now, that doubt is something that I think every pilot has felt at some point in their career, but let me remind you of something really important, and if you can grasp this, honestly, to be honest, you can stop the video after this point. But the thing is, that's normal. That's not a bad thing. It's what you do with that self-doubt and how you manage it, which is the important thing. And that's what I want to try and help you with today. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to accept the fact that doubt is a good thing.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that
doubt
is good.
Accept the fact that being doubtful in your abilities is actually going to make you better in the long run than being overconfident and trying to push through it in the short term. I remember when I did my aerobatic endorsement, we did a series of flights on stalling, and the word stalling in my head sent shivers of fear through my body before I turned up and actually flew those flights, because I was doubting my abilities to A, understand what a stall actually was, and was I going to enjoy it, and was I going to throw up in the aircraft. B, I was scared of the sensation itself, and C, I didn't really understand what a stall was. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to stop labeling yourself as a pilot. If you're learning to fly, stop labeling yourself as one thing in front of other people. Remember, people are multidimensional. We all have a multitude of skills. And the moment you start labeling or branding yourself as a pilot in front of other people like your peers, your family members, your friends, they're going to have a level of expectation for you which you then have to live up to. And this is where you can start to put tremendous pressure on yourself to perform. And when you don't perform to those perceived levels, that's when you can have a lot of internal self-doubt, and that's when problems can start to happen. So on those days that you are doubting yourself, here's what I'd say. Don't fly. Don't push through that doubt just because you think you should, or worse still, because you think people are going to judge you if you don't. That's only going to make it harder for you to enjoy the experience and learn from it, and that's going to make you a worse pilot, in my opinion. So let me tell you about something that I think might help wrap this whole thing up into a neat little package and really helped me understand how to deal with self-doubt and thinking that other people out there are doing things better than I ever could. There's something called the imposter syndrome, and I have definitely fallen into this trap in the past. Let me see, do any of these sound familiar? Thoughts like, I must not fail, I feel like a fake, I just got lucky to be here today. These are classic examples of thoughts that you have if you are going through this imposter syndrome, and I've definitely felt this myself in the past as well, so you're not alone. But like I said before, this doubt is powerful, and there's a brilliant phrase that I love. Actually, I know I'm moving around a bit, but I think I want to sit on this wall again. The view is a bit better. Okay, there's a phrase that I really like. Doubt grows with knowledge. Or to put it into other words, the more you know, the more you realise you don't know. There was a British philosopher called Bertrand Russell who summed all of that up in a much better way. He said, the fundamental cause of trouble in the world today is that the stupid are cocksure, whilst the intelligent are full of doubt. And what does that make you think? Doubt is good. So next time you're going through these thoughts in your head and you're suffering from this self-doubt in your abilities, do me a favor, do these three simple things. First of all, realize that doubt is not a failing, it's actually a strength. Secondly, challenge that doubt by asking yourself questions, and if you still can't answer those questions, go to professionals, talk to your flying instructor, talk to your flying friends, reach out to people online. Whatever you do, start to try to answer those questions to understand that doubt that you're having. Now, if it's an ability thing, if it's like landing an airplane, then practice. Practice it, do it over and over again until you realize that you can do it. If it's a fear thing, like my stalling, then do it over and over again until you get over that fear. And then finally, prove that you can overcome that doubt by proving to yourself that it no longer exists. And that's either by having gone through the experience and realizing it wasn't so bad, or having talked to people and understood where your shortcomings were. Do me a favor here, stop worrying what other people think of you. Who cares how long it took you to get your private pilot's license, as long as you get it in the end? Who cares how many people are following you on YouTube? No one cares about that stuff. You're the only person who cares. It may seem that other people are judging you, but at the end of the day, they've all got their own self-doubts, their own issues as well. Let them deal with theirs and you deal with yours, and don't care about what anyone else thinks of you. And remember, self-confidence doesn't come from thinking that you're better than other people. It's about remembering that life isn't binary. There's no right and wrong. There's no best and worst. The only thing that's going to give you confidence is to continuously improve yourself and to grow individually as a person, and just not to give a toss about what anyone else thinks of you. Alright, all done. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that was useful to you. Let me know in the comments below if you've had any self-doubts in the past in your career, whatever it is, flying or whatever you do. I'd love to hear from you how you overcame those doubts and grew as a person. If you like this video and you found it useful, do like this. If you're new to the channel and you haven't yet, do subscribe. Love the way that this channel's growing. Otherwise, thank you as always for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.